Let's reflect on the issues of the past few days, honing in on the party's organizational report, which was delivered by the Deputy President, David Mabuza, outgoing Deputy President, David Mabuza, as well as take a look at what ordinary South Africans have been saying about what is going on in Nasrec with 2024 in mind. For that conversation, we're joined by Professor Bheki Mngomezulu, a political analyst, as well as ANC veteran, Omry Makgoale. Thank you very much for availing yourselves this morning. Perhaps I'd like for us to take a look at this. Yesterday, my colleague Mbali Tetani going out onto the streets, getting reaction or sentiment from everyday South Africans in terms of what is happening politically in the country where the ANC is concerned. Here's what they told us.
Both lama candidates are elected as long as umuntu ANC kuyafana. I don't believe ukuthi anyone from the ANC angaqhamuka yena self athi une input yokushintsha whatever is happening la South Africa. Uhlulwa yini ukwenza manje because ANC is in the governing party. If khona umuntu ku-ANC ongakhona ukwenza othi yena angakhona ukushintsha uvinjwa yini ukwenza manje because vele i-ANC esemandleni. So nje indaba ye-ANC kumele lama factions ayihambi yona eceleni ishiye nezo thina kube khona abanye abantu abangezi lokubenza lama factions baqhubeke nezo.
Naye Ramaphosa mina ngibangimcela ngakwami ukuthi hayi naye angazirisayine or asiyekele nje abayeke bona labo bazosala sibona ukuthi mara kwafana ngokuthi 2024 ngeke babuye kwafana esekho indaba yabo.
And that is the sentiment on the ground. Professor Mngomezulu, does it come as a surprise to you?
No, thank you very much, Stuart, for the question. These South Africans are basically explaining what is happening on the ground. Because if you are an outsider and you are watching it, how things are happening and how those things affect you in particular, you have a reason to be either despondent or to be angry or any of those reactions. The reality of the matter is the president gave high hopes when he assumed this position, going to an extent that there were 9 lost years before he came in, and then he was going to try and do things better. Then the question you are asking now, with the benefit of hindsight, is are we better off now than we were under the old administration? The answer is an emphatic no. And the issues that these commentators are looking at are basically realities on the ground in terms of unemployment rate, and then most importantly, with regards to load shedding. We had load shedding. Under the old administration, there was an attempt, especially by Brian Molefe, to try and arrest that situation. Now we are playing between level 6 or stage 6 and stage 5, stage 6, stage 5. If we are lucky, we go to stage 2 and then we are back to stage 6. So the reality of the matter is we are worse off than we were before. So then the question then that the first speaker was asking is a critical one, because he says that the reality of the matter is you have the ANC as an organization. Forget about individuals. Look at the ANC as an organization. So which then, in a way, tacitly challenges the president's notion of the new dawn. You cannot come with a new dawn if you are implementing the same policies coming from the same organization. That is basically the message that is putting across. And I fully agree with that. And I've made this comment several times that the president was wrong to say that he's coming up with the new dawn as if he didn't understand how the ANC operates. The ANC historically says that we work as a collective. If something goes wrong, we should all take responsibility. If something is right, I cannot take the accolades because I was part of the collective. So it was wrong for the president to make those comments, and then worse so if then we find ourselves in a worse situation than the one we had before. So they are absolutely right. I'm not surprised.
Makgoale, not only is the ANC losing electoral support, but the organizational report has revealed that party membership is dwindling, currently sitting at just over 600,000 members. Does that come as a surprise to you?
Yeah, no surprise, but I wish to comment on the previous question that you raised to the professor. The key issue here is that the ANC is captured, and it has never recovered from the capture of the past. Now, And why it was captured because of the parliamentary electoral laws. The parliamentary electoral laws in South Africa are such that it is the party headquarters that decide who becomes a member of parliament. It is not the citizen. It is not you or me or the professor that decide who must be their members of parliament. And that's where the problem is. So we need to change this parliamentary electoral law to adopt the Dr. Van Zyl-Slabbert majority recommendation, where 75% of members of parliament must be directly elected by the citizens. You and me and the professor must be in a position to elect our members of parliament directly where we live. At the moment, we don't have that chance. And this is why, when the ANC is captured, we as a society, as citizens, we are captured also, we are affected also. And the issue of ESCOM, you cannot solve the issue of ESCOM without changing this parliamentary law. Because the issue of ESCOM is the leadership is captured. And the mafias that run the coal industry, the diesel industry, all that is because of the parliamentary law. Because it's the members of parliament that preside over all these things. And once you don't change that law, so you can't actually clean ESCOM. So it is something that we should be aware of. You cannot clean the state under the current parliamentary law. Now, commenting on the party issue, on the ANC. The ANC is in decline in terms of membership because people are disillusioned with it, and people are not impressed with the corruption that's taking place. People are not impressed that it's not cleaning itself, and it is normal that when you don't bring hope to people, people leave you. People, resign from your party because you're not bringing any hope to them. And this is why the membership has gone down. Now it's around 600 and something. It's not surprising on my side. But we believe that with the new internal electoral law of one ANC member, one vote, once it is implemented, once it's adopted in this conference, and it will be implemented in future, where we elect leaders of ANC on the basis of one ANC member, one vote. No longer use the branch delegate staff. This current system is the branch delegate staff, where 2% of ANC members go to the conference and elect leaders on behalf of 98% who are left at home. So what we are saying is, we have been fighting for one person, one vote from the old apartheid days. We want that even today, one person, one vote for electing leaders. And this, we believe, will renew and rescue the ANC. Thank you very much.
Makgoale, let me stay with you because the party's organizational report where the Integrity Committee is concerned, Prof. Mngomezulu, you spoke of the New Dawn and how a number or some sectors of society are saying that the current president of the ANC should stay to continue what he started in terms of cleaning up not only the organization but the country. However, the Integrity Commission, apparently according to that document, faced numerous challenges, including an unhealthy political environment which is not conducive to productive work. In 2022, the ANC's Integrity Commission engaged 12 members, including the party president, and they saw him twice. And so the Integrity Committee is bemoaning the fact that it does not have the necessary capacity to hold the relevant authorities to account, pointing out that the NSC is the biggest inhibitor to its work. So, Makgoale, with your intimate knowledge of how the ANC works, what should we read into this, that at one stage we're made to understand that we're dealing with the situation, but we're not capacitating the very organization or committee we have tasked with cleaning up the organization?
Yes, I think it's a fair point from the Integrity Commission that they should raise that issue because they don't have what I would see at the moment. We want to change that. We want to give the Integrity Commission the power to actually remove people from the ANC, not to be dependent, not depend on the ANC, for their, not to recommend, but to have the authority to actually remove people from the leadership position at various levels. At the moment, they don't have that. They can only recommend. And when you recommend to crooks, what do you expect? You expect crooks to accept that? It won't happen. So this is why we have to first to clean the ANC, and you can't clean the ANC at the moment because of this current parliamentary and electoral laws that I'm referring to. It is still captured. So the Integrity Commission is working under pressure. You can't expect crooks to support your move to clean up. It is not in their interest. So, and this is why we believe that integrity should have power to actually remove people from leadership positions at various levels. Once they see that you are at default, once they see that you are bringing the AC into disrepute, they should have the authority to remove you.
Professor Mngomezulu, a final question to you. With 2022 around the corner, much has been said about coalition government or a coalition government in the event that the African National Congress does not or will not be able to maintain its lead. What would that look like to you, given that at a smaller scale, coalition governments in South Africa look like a nightmare?
You know, sister, to truth be told, maybe let me start by just reflecting on 2 points made by Mr. Makgoale, which I fully agree with, that our electoral system is posing a challenge. You find people getting to positions of power through the back door. Because I like the political party, but I don't like Mr. Makgoale, and I'm stuck with him because I like the party. That is the problem. So the electoral system is definitely going to cause us problems. There are many other points which I totally agree with him on, which I will not go to in the interest of time. To come straight to a point about coalitions, the reality of the matter is Africa as a continent and South Africa as a country, we are not ready for coalition politics because we don't seem to understand how coalition politics works. The best we can do is to learn from those countries that have been using coalitions in a sustained manner. Countries like Australia, countries like India, countries like Germany, and some few Scandinavian countries, because they have a full understanding of how it works. Secondly, we have to distinguish between different types of coalitions. There is a pre-election coalition and there is a post-election coalition. The pre-election coalition is even better because you can always find each other before you even prepare your manifestos. So it has a potential to survive. But then secondly, there is something called a grand alliance. A grand alliance is when you bring together two or a maximum of three bigger political parties. But it works better with two political parties. Because what is likely to happen there is I will have my own ideas as party A, and then Mr. Makgoale will have his own, which is party B. We are most likely to negotiate and then conclude on matters than having smaller parties, 5, 7, 8, 10 smaller parties coming together in a coalition. And then you find that the party with the lowest number, maybe just one seat, making the loudest noise, saying that I'll give you my seat on condition that you give me the deputy presidency, you give me the mayoral position, or the deputy mayoral position, or the municipal manager position. So before we can even think about coalitions, let us educate ourselves. Unfortunately, come 2024, that is the road we are headed. Unfortunately, that is the reality we are faced with. And we are doomed as a country because coalitions will never work for us. We've seen this in Nelson Mandela Bay. We've seen this in Gauteng municipalities and many other municipalities across the country. We are not ready for that.
Professor Bheki Mngomezulu is a political analyst, and Dr. Omry Makgoale is a veteran and political commentator, a veteran of the ANC. Thank you very much for availing yourselves this morning.